This is CoTCast, Episode 2.
Hello, this is Winnin, and if you are not reading my novel, which you can get for free on my website, toddcedwards.com, you should be listening to the CoTCast.
Welcome to CoTCast, the podcast for Circle of Trust, an MMORPG guild soon to be in Warhammer Online, fighting for destruction on an RP North American server. This is Episode 2 on June 21st, 2008. This podcast is a little different. Aberrant, Thrakus, Ras, and I recorded the episode last night on TeamSpeak, but a simple show outline and a few adult beverages later, it turned into a rather long recording session. I woke up this morning and realized I had about 2 hours of audio. So instead of trying to chop that down to 30 minutes and still have it sound like a natural flowing conversation, I'm re-recording for structure, and you'll hear audio from last night at the appropriate segments. Our main topic is guild initiation, but you'll also hear a bit about what we're playing now, some current guild happenings, some more rumors, and we'll wrap it up by putting Ras on the spot. In this podcast, your hosts are myself, Zelly, but I'm also referred to as Z or Shannon during the podcast, and also
Aberrant, aka Jason.
Thrakus, Tony, for now.
And Joe, or Ras, or Taliver from Texas.
We're not playing War right now, so we're all passing the time in different games. I've been playing Mario Kart on the Wii, and I'm loving it. The steering wheel accessory is not the best way to play for handling. I find that the regular controller provides better accuracy, but the steering wheel is a much more fun way to play, so I go with that. I've always been the person getting made fun of because I tend to move my whole controller when I play any game, so I'm loving the Wii. I finally have a reason for all my flailing during gameplay. I bowl the same way, but who cares what you look like when you're bowling? I mean, you're bowling.
I just finished Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Is this a spoiler?
No, I'm not going to do any spoilers.
How long was it?
I did it in it was 19 hours, I think 45 minutes was my total playtime. It gives you a report. The great thing about it was, story-wise, if you've played the other Metal Gear games, the story's convoluted, convoluted, I'm sorry, and really interesting parts, but you can't tie it together, but after playing this, you feel like it ties together.
Can you play it if you haven't played the other
ones?
ones?
Play it? Yes, you can, and actually, if you have a PS3, they just put out a thing on the store yesterday, a free download that goes through the entire timeline and characters, like a database.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can download that for free and look at it, and it knows by checking your hard drive if you've beaten Metal Gear Solid 4, and it won't do any spoilers. You can go through and read everything and catch up to date. It even has a timeline that goes, back years to let you know what the story's been.
Thrakus.
Well, my primary one lately is GTA 4. I like this one the best because they make the character a little more human and not so much like an insane drug lord, I want to kill babies, type of guy. It's really, well, he's still a stereotype.
Well, yeah, but nowhere near like Tommy Vercetti or, even CJ. I found myself, I wasn't just causing mayhem like I did in the other ones. I was trying to get to the story because the story's actually really good in this one, I thought.
Very good characters. They really make you feel like you want to keep going. I'm back into Call of Duty 4, which is excellent. I played Rainbow Six. Call of Duty 4 is a lot of fun. I got burnt out on it because when it first started, and I sold it and bought it again. And it's good. The new levels are good. It's a nice, fresh thing, and it's more of a fast-paced shooter. And then Rainbow Six 2, Vegas 2, and that one's the exact opposite of Call of Duty, which is really hard to play one and then switch to the other. Very frustrating. I kept accidentally throwing grenades at myself in Call of Duty because I thought I was hitting sprint.
I'm, it's not going to be much of a surprise to people who know me, but I'm a little lame. Oh. I'm playing older games. I'm playing Oblivion.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing Oblivion for the PS3.
You know what, I'm waiting to hear what you're playing again.
What class are you playing in?
Well, it's funny because you start playing Oblivion, and my wife and I went through it, and at the beginning you go through, and it kind of decides a class based on your decisions throughout the beginning,
right.
the initial scenario, the initial dungeon, and both of us got barred because we were kind of, I guess, mixing it up. But I'm playing just kind of a rogue-type character, but not very good at it. I wasn't sneaking enough, and I died quite a bit until I realized I probably should be being a little more cautious. But it's a fun game, and I was playing, actually, Grand Theft Auto, like you were discussing, and I couldn't get into it. I don't know what it is, but I know it's quote-unquote a sandbox game and all, but I don't know. Something I feel too morally wrong. Am I too uptight? My wife thinks I am.
Do you have a conscience?
I guess
definitely
I do.
Will toy with that.
Yeah, it's like I can't. I don't know. I needed more motivation to kill and rape. I don't know. I'm strange like that. But no, it's a good game and the story's great. But I ended up getting Oblivion, and Oblivion kind of suits my gameplay more. And I'm also playing.
Yeah.
I think Z was waiting for this one. EQ2. I went back to EverQuest 2 because Sony's given away a free month or two of play, and it's much improved. I don't know. It's just a little more enjoyable, but I wouldn't really recommend you don't ever PvP in it because it's just another game that was kind of PvP's tacked on instead of built for PvP like War is going to be. The community is definitely better than like what you'll see in WoW.
There you go, a whole bunch of options to fill your war waiting. Now moving on to something that actually concerns Circle of Trust and eventual war playing. Maeve, our initiate extraordinaire, is either participating like a madwoman in beta, or she's started counterfeiting buddy passes, because she's acquired yet another one and gave it to Winnin. I'm really happy it went to him because he's an officer in the guild, and he had originally passed on guild beta slots because he had just had a baby, and he wasn't sure if he'd be able to fit in the playtime. But babies sleep a lot, and we're very understanding of AFK diaper duty situations too, so I'm glad he'll be in beta when we get there. Which may be soon, according to the rumors of guild beta that are all fired up on various sites. I recently read Olivion's post on Only War, where he points out that the last newsletter mentioned that June's newsletter would contain beta updates. Also, the recent War Herald update on News from the Front, Aegis of the Oathbreakers, the text of guild interest is, "The war has come to a climax as mighty guilds are called upon from near and far to aid in the torrential storm." Personally, I don't believe in beta. There is no beta. The beta is a lie. It's all a big cruel joke. We received word that we would be in guild beta, we got a guild beta slot, last August, and I'm not even concerned about it anymore because of all the time that has gone by. I've simply lost hope of it actually happening. Pre-release is a cruel bitch. Everything is written in mud, and I'm not counting on anything at this point. There's the added rumor of a Mythic employee accidentally leaking the release date of September 22nd on the VN board, which I don't believe, but it's fun to think about, and it does coincide nicely with the recent changes in delivery dates from GameStop, EB Games, Best Buy, and Amazon. Also, Jeff Hickman and a rather calm Paul Barnett were on XPlay last night, and they stated, again, a fall release. That would put us at about 90 days from release. It would seem to follow that if that is true, then Guild Beta would be soon on the horizon. Okay, I'm starting to feel hopeful by rumors, and I know that just leads to crushing disappointment, so I'm going to stop there.
I've lost all hope. Fool me once. How many times is it? This is like 10 times.
I was a little disappointed in the XPlay piece. I was hoping for more information, and I felt that RVR was not explained in all of its glory. I think that if I wasn't a former DAOC player and I wasn't all about War already, that interview would not make me check it out. Then again, it was a very small segment, and perhaps they weren't given the time that they needed to get into more depth.
Kind of what I already know. For somebody who may be new to the game, it was interesting, but for me, it was just kind of, I liked the footage. The footage was new to me, and I liked seeing that Chaos Chosen running around hacking up stuff. That was fun. But other than that, it was kind of, typical questions and not quite answered properly, but everyone seemed to have an agenda, which is fine, and it was just for somebody who was kind of new to the game versus us vets.
I kind of felt like, I don't know, like they were holding back, or being a little too careful sometimes.
I think you're right. They didn't quite differentiate between PvP, like let's say in WoW versus RVR, which what we experience in Dark Age, because people are going to see it and think it's another, it's a WoW clone. It's just more fighting. It's the same thing as any other PvP or RP PvP server. Yeah, I can see that, but yeah, having I was biased because I knew more about what was going on.
Oh, and it felt like, well, they're like, oh yeah, so our game has PvE. Yeah, and it has PvP too. Oh wait, RVR. Like, it just felt like a brand name. It didn't feel like anything.
That was what surprised me. As soon as she said, PvP or RVR, I expected Jeff Hickman to say, oh, this is what RVR is.
Yeah, I expected a branch off.
And I don't mean to blame them because they were probably told, okay, you have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, so I mean, that's almost an impossible situation.
But yeah, with limited time, it's really difficult to describe a massive multiplayer game with so many facets to it, so much to do, so much going on, and the lore and the history of Warhammer. And you got 2 minutes, go.
And they've had deeper interviews. I was kind of hoping for one of those maybe show-long or even like 10-minute-long things.
I recently received a private message from one of our new initiates, Arak. It reads, "Once again, thanks to you and all of the Circle of Trust for the warm welcome in the forums. I do have a couple of questions for you as far as the guild goes. After having read everything about your guild on your site and on other war sites, I'm very happy to have found a potential group of friends to play this great game with. That being said, I was wondering two things, I guess, since I couldn't find the answers. The first being, how many future members are you and the current members of COT looking to recruit for the guild? I ask because I really like the fact that you guys are smaller, for now at least, than most other guilds, and in turn have developed a great friendship and enjoy playing the MMOs you play even more so. The second question is, do you guys still decline initiates with the voting process that is listed on your forums? Based off your response, it sounded as though all of us initiates will eventually be in the guild as full members. Did I misunderstand that? I do like the fact that COT does have a screening process, by the way. Thanks, Arak." I love getting this PM because it helps me see that we're not clear about certain things to people. Many of us in COT have been in the guild for years. So many things are unspoken and simply understood amongst us that we take it for granted that people know how things are going to go. Just for clarification, to join the Circle of Trust, you have to read through our rules and joining procedures, and then simply register on the forum and make an introduction post. That's your official application to the guild. We make people register on the forum because then I can make sure people have access to the areas on the board that they need. Whether they check it or not is up to them, but at least the excuse of, I don't have access to that, is never valid. At that point, someone will look at your post and agree to be your sponsor, and boom, you're an initiate in the guild. Initiates take anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. During that time, all you have to do is play and get to know people in the guild. That's your only obligation. Certain people in the guild have voting rights on incoming members, and they'll be making their decision during that time. At the end, either you'll be moved up to member status, asked to extend your initiation, or you'll be told you're not a good fit for the guild. Usually it works out fine, because of the website, people know what to expect from us, and there aren't too many surprises. On occasion, we discover we're not the right guild for someone, but it's usually mutual. There are so many guilds out there, and people need to find the one that's right for them. We're not a guild for every gamer, and we're not going to try to be. Because of this, we tend to balance our membership numbers rather naturally. We're aiming for about 45 active members, which for a casual guild tends to be about 60 total members, and that still only gives us maybe like 15 to 20 on every night. We may have to cap the guild at that point so we don't get too large to handle, but I'm hesitant to do that at pre-release because so many of the new people showing an interest in the guild seem really great on the forum, and the fact of the matter is that there's no guarantee they'll stay interested in Circle of Trust, or even War for that matter, after release. I don't want to turn away potentially great guildies at this point because I know 6 months down the road I'm going to be kicking myself wondering how the hell do I find those people again. I'm particularly interested in Thrakis and Ras's points of views on this whole thing, because they're newer to the guild.
And you want to protect your friends. I mean, You've got friends, you've forged relationships over time in these MMOs, and you want to protect them, and it's nice to have we've in the past invited people, when I was, with AIM and other iterations of AIM, we've invited people in openly, and usually it's worked out, and I kind of had the philosophy that people that don't fit usually leave, but the problem is people who don't fit, they screw everything up for the longest time. And usually they'll just cause too many problems in the process. They need, they'll steal from the guild bank, whatever. Then they're out of there. So you gotta have some kind of screening process. I mean, for family and friends, it's a little different. But with someone just randomly you meet in game, you want to spend some time with them and have some kind of an initiate status, and then, it's kind of also nice for them to get to know everybody and see. It's also good for them because they might not be a good fit for them, and they can figure that out in that process. So we're actually protecting the people, not even ourselves, just them. That's how good we are.
We're just people.
See how that works? Should I turn that around?
Yeah, I mean, your process isn't too... I think it comes off more, I don't know, strict than it is, I guess, because it seems like you're paying attention, but it's just basically saying, we just want to get to know you. But in writing, it kind of seems a little daunting. It seems like you're watching me, like my sponsor is going to be hand-in-hand with me the whole time.
Well, no, I think it's fine, and I understand sometimes it can take a lot of verbiage to get a specific point across, so it can look like be a lot more verbose, big word thrown out there, when it, trying to convey and be specific about what you want. But anyway, I think that it's kind of evolved a little bit because the situation's kind of been taking place here with the semi-merging of a couple of groups, with AIM coming in. It's been kind of a large influx of people, and you've had to protect yourselves. I mean, you're just protecting your group and your friends, and it's completely understandable, and I don't think the whole initiation process is too daunting or too crazy, and I think it's going to be it's going to translate differently when we're in-game talking to people and they're getting to know everybody and they realize what kind of a group it is. It's going to be different versus just somebody coming to the boards and reading all about it. I think once they understand who we are and, travel with us and see we're friends, it's not going to be so, so difficult to understand. Does that make sense? I'm on my third beer, so I start to lose rational thought and logic as the night goes on. I think everyone's real receptive of people come to the boards and post, and we're real receptive. We want to meet people that are of like mind. Yeah. Oh, everyone's been really, I think, not. I mean, we like people and people that are the same like mind. Like I said, we want those people on board. I think that at the onset, like we've talked about, I think it's been discussed before. You don't want to restrict who's going to come in because you don't know who's going to. You can't force people to play the game, and you've got to respect people's opinion and how they feel about it. And if they decide that it's not for them, they're going to leave, and that's perfectly fine. We'll still love them. But yeah, I mean, that's a great number to shoot for. 45 would be awesome. I think if you let everybody in and you just kept letting people in, I think you'd still have a hard time hitting 45 committed players that match our personalities.
45 players that are playing with each other at the same time is better than like 200 people who there's only like 10 people on at a time in general.
I think that Raz hit it right on the head that, I mean, you can let everybody in, but there's only going to be a certain amount of people who really get us. And I think that we can let everyone who wants to apply compose, let them try to get in the guild, and but I think a lot of them are gonna either, if they're gonna look for something else, something bigger. I think we're gonna come to a nice number just naturally.
They're gonna find we're not for them.
Yeah.
Or that we're not.
And
yeah,
we're gonna get at the most our masked for people who really want to be a part of what we are. I mean, casual guild who likes to play when we can, and when we play we're serious. But I don't think we're ever gonna get that big to where it's an issue.
Yeah, if we do, we'll just find a reason to fight and break off and form another guild.
Shit.
You fucking whore.
You don't mow another man's lawn.
Well, you won't have to worry about that. I mean, with this kind of a group, I don't think you don't have to provide for them.
Yeah, well, your setup is more natural, like, it's less controlling, like, oh, I'm in charge, listen to me. It's more just everyone's hanging out.
My controlling behavior. We thought it would be an interesting segment to put someone on the spot each CoTCast and grill them about themselves and why they're in Circle of Trust. Ras agreed to do it for this podcast.
Well, you want to go start from the beginning? Well, not like my birth, but in MMOs. Well,
forward.
I started playing AC1 and started forming friendships and so forth, and we kept together throughout the years and played everything, Final Fantasy, Dark Age. But anyway, forged a lot of friendships to WoW times, played World of Warcraft, and this group of friends and I are looking for a guild to hang out with. We've got probably about 10, 15 of us want to play, but we're looking for, more, because we kind of realized that the game demanded more for in-game content and just anything, really, because we couldn't all be on at the same time anyway. 15 people meant pretty much 5 people on at one time. So I was browsing the forums, the WoW forums, and I saw a post, and I bore him every time.
Yeah.
But I saw a post by Zelibeli, and it was really unique comparatively by the WoW players there. I mean, all the guilds were pretty much in-game guilds. You play this amount of hours, these days, you raid these dungeons, you've got to be this level to play, this tall to ride this ride, and these posts was more about just, a guild that what we were about. So it was, from there I started talking to her, and we've been talking for a long time now. How long? I don't know. I lose track of time quickly.
A couple of years.
It's been like 2. I wanted to say 2 years, but I exaggerate. So.
And that sounds about right. And and so it was just kind of it was also because it was kind of like Z and her husband played, and I played with my wife, and then we had a lot of other grown-up friends that were I don't know, just of our same age group, and had real-life responsibilities and couldn't play 24/7, so it was just made sense to hang out. And unfortunately, you all were Alliance and we were Horde, so well, that was the negative thing. But yeah, I mean, Z can write a pretty damn good recruitment post, I guess, is the bottom line. And then eventually we hung out on Lightning Hoof and got to know each other, and it was pretty easy going, and it was a good match. A lot of us some of us are local, as far as local to me. I've got some friends that play John and Melissa or Mal and Athene. Hope they don't mind me giving out their real identity. But they're close. They've been good friends of mine for years, and Sark's here, local as well, and so is Skug and a few others. But yeah, we started out in AC, and AC was kind of odd because you'd get your friends, you'd make them swear fealty to you, and it wasn't a guild, it was more like bow down before me, and it was bizarre. So there wasn't really, you weren't in a guild, you were, there was a monarch. My wife's correcting me on fealty, or is it fealty? Yeah, I don't know, but you basically bow down to somebody, and you're under them as far as ranks. There's a hierarchy, so you weren't in a guild, you were under some character, and so it was kind of strange. But we had this whole organization in AC2, so we didn't really have a name then. Then we moved on. I believe at that point it was it might have been EQ. Yeah, it was EQ after that. And in EQ, we actually joined another friends guild, a friend of a friend. It was a lot of hooking up with different friends at that point, and different iterations of guilds, and people had different role play stories and stuff. And I wasn't big into role play. I just wasn't very creative, I guess. But I just liked to play the games. But then download, started using Kindred for some reason. I think it was in City of Heroes, and it's kind of a silly, simple name. But and then we had some other weird names. Oh, in EQ we had Fell Kindred because we were evil, and later on down it was Aim to Misbehave. But we've had a few different names, but it's always been the same group, and it's just sometimes we chose names dependent on the game and the lore of the game. So, but we probably should have stayed consistent like you all have, so people recognize and know who you are. It's better to have an identity like that, I think. So you're doing the right thing. We kind of messed up in that department. Yeah, there's a lot of PvEers. I would say 10, 15 maybe, but it's hard to tell because I don't talk with them all the time. There's a few that I talk to quite often. There's a few that I don't talk to enough. They're great people. It's just I don't know. I really kind of I don't know, got an idea of their intentions. I think they may it's just I don't know. I need to follow up with them and see what they feel, how they feel about it. But I'd say 10 to 15. I'm sorry. It's mainly that there won't be enough. I think the PvP will be fantastic and a lot of fun, but I'm afraid there won't be enough in-game PvE to keep people when they kind of don't feel like PvPing. And I know they've said more recently that there's going to be more PvE material, more in-game dungeons and so forth. Every so often, I feel like a Care Bear, and I want to go and just lead a raid or be in a raid or do something in-game kind of dungeon crawl-wise, and I hope they can kind of satisfy us in that area as well. But that'd be my hope, or my fear. Sorry, that's not my hope. Yeah. Well, I hope too. Fear is they don't, hope is they do, yeah. So, but I hope it's really just a great game we can all hang out in. I want this to succeed badly because I'm tired of, like Thrak is hopping. We got to save the guy. Poor guy's spending money on every game that comes out.
Yeah,
got to give
really
him one game.
More of a Thrakis intervention. Hopefully, but I think that's a pretty common theme. I mean, they've talked about RVR so much, and hopefully the PvE's there to. Cause, yeah, I mean, I want to just goof around and talk and kill stuff that I don't have to worry about being on edge every moment all the time. So there's gonna be nights that I just want to go kill some mobs and not worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember times even Ab and you and I and Z and everybody, we were had a group together in Lightning Hoof for an AB battleground in WoW, and you were your little dwarf priest, and I think I was a dwarf warrior, and just how you were healing me, and I was running around just killing everything. Of course, I felt like Uber because I had a priest behind me, but there's times like that, and there's times with other friends just doing things in other games, and I just kind of want to combine all that somehow, get all these friends together in one game, and have a lot of fun. I think with the group and it's most importantly, I think it's the group we have. The group we have right now, just some amazing people, and I think it's going to be a great time in a game like Warhammer, where we're at right now. I mean, we're going to be able to go in there and do anything we want in the game, and I don't know, COT is going to be a great guild. Well, half the game is the people, I think. I mean, a lot of people have played games that are decent games, and we got the people part down. We got that down. So I think we're groovy.
That's all we can worry about.
Yeah, we agree with that.
We've done our part. Come on, Mythic. Step up and do your part.
Come on. I met
kicking
people.
ass.
I went on the internet and met people. Go for it. Now build a whole fucking world around it.
And that's all for this CoTCast. You can send us feedback by email at circleoftrust.guild@gmail.com. Our website is www.circleoftrust.org. And thanks for listening.